good morning. It's Uncle Lou here. Yep, that's right. It's me, Uncle Lou. Live for you on LouTube today. Yeah, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it also, and too. The Come Get You Some video is coming today. It takes me a long time to make that. You'll see why when it comes out later today. Yeah, you'll just see. Anyway, people keep asking me about UCF and what I think about them claiming the national title or whatever. So I figure while you're waiting on that Come Get You Some video, I would talk a little bit about that. First off, I'm happy for UCF. I like these kind of storylines, to be honest with you. I like it when sort of an underdog type team has a really, really good year. I liked it when Boise State was on that run a few years back where they were knocking off some big teams and having really, really good years for, a bunch of years in a row. I'm happy for Central Florida finishing the regular season, 13-0, and then beating Auburn in the Peach Bowl to go 14-0, probably their biggest win in school history, right? So, I'm happy for Central Florida. My issue really is this. You sort of know what you're getting into if you coach one of these non-Power 5 teams, right? At least you should. Do I think UCF is the best team in America? No, I don't. I think it's a great win for them that they beat Auburn. I think they came out ready to play. They looked really, really good, and they took it to Auburn. They weren't scared. They weren't intimidated. They didn't back down. They went into that ball game expecting to win, and that's exactly what they did. And I tip my hat to Central Florida. And that's really kind of what irritates me is I feel like I'm in a position here, because people keep asking me about this. I feel like I'm in a position here where I have to trash talk Central Florida, and I don't want to do that, and I'm not going to do that. Really, the people really who should be ashamed of themselves, honestly, is certain parts of the national media and certain other fan bases who are trying to bestow the national championship upon Central Florida. I've got no problem with the school itself, Central Florida, claiming a national championship or having some kind of parade or honoring its players for a great year or anything like that. They deserve those things. When you're at a non-Power 5 school like that, what happened to Central Florida this year is the absolute most that you can hope for when you're at one of those teams. Now, we can debate and argue about whether or not that's fair, and that's a perfectly legitimate debate and argument to have. And if you ever go to an 8-team playoff or something like that, and you want to put in certain stipulations that if a non-Power 5 goes undefeated, they get an automatic bid or something, I'm perfectly okay with that. Perfectly okay with that. But in the system that we have set up right now where it's only 4 teams, if you're one of these group of 5 schools, these non-Power 5 teams, then you just have to know the top of the mountain for you is a New Year's 6 bowl bid. It doesn't matter that you're undefeated or anything like that. Like I said, do I think they're the best team in college football? No, but I'm not going to knock Central Florida. Put Central Florida in the Big Ten. Do you think they would be undefeated and win it? Just answer that question. Put them in the ACC, the SEC, the Big 12. I seriously doubt Central Florida could even win the Pac-12, okay? I make this argument all the time, and usually I make it about the SEC because I'm an SEC homer, and I do it just to sort of irritate or rub people a certain way. But this argument applies this year to Central Florida in all 5 of those other conferences that I just named. Being the best team in college football or winning a major conference isn't about beating Auburn one day with 30 days to prepare in January, okay, on a New Year's Day bowl. That's not what winning a major conference is about, okay? Iowa State didn't win the Big 12 because they beat Oklahoma, okay? Iowa didn't win the Big 10 because they beat Ohio State. And that's the biggest difference between the Power 5 schools and the non-Power 5. It's the week in, week out grind. And, people say, well, this conference is down this year, or that conference is down this year, or this division or that division, whatever. Okay, that's fine. You're still playing teams week in and week out that are way more legitimate than the teams that somebody like a Central Florida is playing week in and week out. So Central Florida beat Auburn. That's great. Could Central Florida beat Auburn the second week in September and then beat LSU the third week and then beat Alabama the fourth week and then travel and win at Georgia and then come back home and play Texas A&M and then travel and play South Carolina? Could they win those 6 games in a row? No. No. They couldn't. They wouldn't. It would not happen. How many times has Alabama even gone undefeated over the course of a season? Not very many. And it's because they're playing a legitimate Power 5 schedule, not Central Florida's schedule. Again, I'm not knocking Central Florida. Central Florida has to play the schedule they're given, be in the conference that they're in, okay? And they dominated it, and they won it, and they got a New Year's Six bowl. They went undefeated, and they spanked Auburn in the Peach Bowl. Great year for Central Florida. Great year. Not knocking them at all. And I think it's within their rights to claim or do or have whatever type of parade or whatever that they want to do. The national media and some of these other fan bases who are saying, well, the game between Georgia and Alabama on Monday night don't even matter because Central Florida is the real national champion because they beat Auburn and Auburn beat Alabama and Georgia. Yeah, well, can Pittsburgh claim last year's national championship since they beat Clemson and Clemson beat Alabama for the title? You know what I'm saying? No, they can't. It just doesn't work that way. But you know, Central Florida's the new Alabama though, right? Central Florida's the new Alabama. Let's embrace it. Who cares if you actually win the national title? Just go out and claim a bunch of meaningless ones. Hell, the Gumps have been doing this kind of thing for decades, right? I mean, the Gumps claim a national title for a year. They had 3 losses and finished 3rd in the SEC. They claim a national title for that year. So if the Gumps are going to claim fake fairy tale national titles, who cares if Central Florida does it? I don't. Let them claim it. Doesn't mean anything. 5 years down from the road from now, if you ask somebody who won the 2017 national title in college football, they're going to name whatever team wins the game Monday night. It's that simple. So, you know, hats off to Central Florida. Not mad at you guys, not hating on y'all at all. But some of you other people that want to claim them as the national champion, yeah, hey, reality knocking. Open the door!